As a matter of fact, if you look at the statistics from the Supreme Court, more murder cases are being thrown out under the Free National Movement government than at any time. That's a fact. It cannot be disputed. We are getting more persons are being acquitted than are actually being convicted. So you're telling me now that if that is in fact the case, why, instead of us putting our resources to find out why are these cases being thrown out? Is the evidence not strong? Is the forensics not being analyzed? Is that in fact the case? Do we have the right people? Or is it the system is broken? That is something that we have to look at.
Dr. Major, you
said it all.
Okay.
Absolutely.
As we conclude this segment of our program, I want to put this to you, and it is a suggestion that the mode of are you in agreement that the mode of governing the Bahamas must change?
It must.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, those that do it every day know best. Why not consultate with those that do it every day, those that know the ins and outs and the real issues and the problem and the fixes that can work and save money and pool resources, instead of sitting in Parliament and coming up with this brilliant idea that makes absolutely no sense, only on paper and only when you say it. But if you go to the social workers and to the police officers that are on the streets every day and trying to solve crime, and they're having issues with basic things like resources, if you help them, if you bring them to the table and if you get their feedback, this country would be in a much better position.
Okay. This is what consensus is all about. And this is what this government, the new Progressive Liberal Party government, will do. Consult with the people, create partnerships, linkages with the public, so that we're here to govern, we're here to lead, but we're also here to be in partnership.
That's right.
And that's what it's about.
And you know, Mr. Jones, it is so interesting that a government that came to office in 1992 on consultation and transparency and accountability, all of a sudden, when they came to office in 2007, consultancy or consulting is a dirty word to them. They don't feel like it needs to be done. And so here again, I agree the system needs to be changed, and I agree that the way we do things need to be changed. We ought not to be, as parliamentarians, always who did this, who did that, who did the next. The people want to hear of our vision for the direction we are going to take this country in. And it cannot happen when you have a government trying to revise history, and so you find opposition always have to be defending itself and what it has done in office. But we have to be focused, and we have to move forward, and we have to continue to let the Bahamian people know where the direction that we will take this country.
If I can add just quickly, Mr. Jones, the fact is that I believe that at this time, when you talk about the government change, it calls for a national agenda where both the Progressive Liberal Party and the Free National Movement government and then all of the other stakeholders come together to deal with this crime problem. And it cannot be dealt with in a 5-year term. It cannot be where any government comes to office and because it is not their program, that they decided they're going to stop and cancel.
You want governance by committee?
There has to be no. There has to be governance in the interest of the common good. There has to be statesmanship. And I'll limit this, Mr. Jones. The fact is that the FBI just released its statistics, which showed that despite the recession, overall crime in the United States of America is down by 5.5%. If we compare that to what's going on in Jamaica, where there's a lockdown, we have to determine in this country where we want to go. Do we want to go the route of Jamaica and the other counterparts in the Caribbean, or we can go the route where what happened in New York, what happened in Japan, what happened in China, what happened in the United Kingdom, where the governments said, you know something, this is our country, we want to preserve it for the common good, we want to preserve it for generations to come.
Thank you very much.
We have to do it.
We take this break in our program, and when we return, we are going to get the PLP's view on the future direction of the Bahamas under a potential PLP government. We take this break. Thank you very much, and we'll come back.
Japan Direct Auto Sales. your banner year for a car you always dreamed of in quality style. Select from a grand variety of pre-owned, low-mileage Nissan Sentras in stunning colors that are priced at very affordable prices, $5,000 to $7,000. Toyotas starting from $7,000. They also have name brand Wyndhams, Avalons, Hondas, and CRV Jeeps. Japan Direct will see you through in an excellent guaranteed vehicle. Phone Japan Direct Auto Sales today at 394-0439 or fax to 394-2573. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday. Go roll away in your new vehicle today.
LaRose Signature Cosmetics has revolutionized the face of Bahamian women of all skin tones, restoring a breathtaking, younger-looking skin, targeting and smoothing expression lines for elegant sophistication and flawless radiance, keeping every woman looking as young as she feels. Once you discover the difference LaRose Cosmetics has made, you will be thrilled. Behold a more beautiful you, exclusively at LaRose, West Bay.
We're back here in this special program dealing with governance in the Bahamas, and we're broadcasting from the Sir Lyndon Pindling Center, and we are speaking with a number of members, officials, MPs of the Progressive Liberal Party. And in this segment of our program, we are going to find out the perspective of these people around the table on the direction of our country. What is their perspective for the future development and growth of our country? Around our table now, Mr. Picewell Forbes, the MP for South Andros, Mr. Ryan Pinder, the MP for Elizabeth, Paulette Zonical, we understand, a potential candidate of the party, and Mr. Aaron Sargent, the chairman of the Young Liberals. Let's begin with Mr. Sargent. What is good governance to you, sir?
I think, first of all, it starts with leadership. And I think that's what a lot of young people look for when they talk about good governance. And I think that's why you find that a lot of young people are turned off from politics, is the fact that you don't have good leadership. And I think that's what's been evident in the first 3 years of this F&M government. I think we have not seen any of the progressive plans that they told us they would have implemented. A lot of the legislative agenda that they said that they would have carried out has not been done as yet. I think young people especially, are looking forward to a government that moves swiftly to deal with the issues. I think young people especially are looking for a government that will actually look to care and consult and listen to them and hear their views and ideas, rather than just sweep it under the rug and say, okay, I'm the government.
Mr. Forbes, in some of the developing countries,
to all of us, he is prepared to take us to the next general election, win there, and then also transition the party to that successor to him. I think Mr. Christie understands his fiduciary responsibility to the party and also the country nationally. And he's been one who's been very open to discussion, and also I think he's progressive enough to understand when his time has come and gone. I think Mr. Christie's good work in our country is not done at this stage. I think his stewardship in the 5 years prior to this present administration was very good, and people feel that there's a need to look at Mr. Christie again. At this time, we are facing a situation where we need at least 50,000 jobs to start today. Many of our young people are disenchanted, they're frustrated, and also those old and middle-aged women out there, they're hurting, and daily there's a sense of hopelessness in our country. And I think Mr. Christie, with this level of compassion, brings that to the table. So I think Mr. Christie's job is yet undone. And we've decided at the party level, collectively, to give him another shot. And I think he deserves it. I heard the Prime Minister across the floor the other day say he deserves another shot. Well, I think Christie is now, he feels emboldened, he's ready to go, and he has some shine on him. I think he's ready to do it.
After 33 years, Paulette Zonical, in the political firmament, you think Mr. Christie has what it takes to give you the PLP a victory at the polls after the next general election?
I don't think so. I know so. I'll tell you why. The Bahamas today, at this very moment, is standing on the work economically done by the Christie administration led by Perry Christie. He was forward-thinking in implementing a number of projects The F&M came in and they made a number of changes. They stopped a number of them. But there are hundreds of Bahamians today working on the Albany product that is helping to sustain our country. I think Perry Christie brings to politics in the Bahamas a different mindset. He is very matured politically. He allows people to be themselves in who they are, and I think that's phenomenal. I think in politics in the Bahamas, we often put people in a box. Mr. Christie thinks differently. He thinks outside